Welcome back to another episode of the Hermit Poetry Series. I'm Neil Aitken, and on this channel I read poetry, mostly work by contemporary poets, occasionally poems of my own, and once in a while poems from the past. Today's poem comes to us from Tyler Mills from Hawk Parable, published by University of Akron Press in 2019. This poem is entitled First Thing. And before I read the poem, I just want to say how much I've really enjoyed this book. I've just started getting into it, but there's already so many poems that I'm in love with that I really feel are quite amazing. And this is one of them. It's a book published in 2019, but a lot of the themes, a lot of the subject matter feels very, very much as if it were speaking to us right now. In its contemplation of war and its aftermath, its impact on soldiers and civilians, as well as the other types of violences that are done, but also reminding us of who we are as human beings. This is a poem entitled First Thing. You look like a monster, one woman said to another. The woman was on fire. This is the first of two screws twisted into a wall. One bus is sent on its route minutes before the other. This is the first. Thousands of soldiers were lowering their faces to the grass as though an exercise can will an effect. People made their way to the hospital. A doctor would look at them, and then they could die. You can dip a line of monofilament into a river. You can do it twice. The first becomes a second. The second becomes a third. Three girls stretched out their arms while the wind sheared their flesh, sheared, not seared, what was left. I could have shown you a swimming pool lit with turquoise light. It was early. It was a mission. It wasn't the first. That was First Thing by Tyler Mills from Hawk Parable, University of Akron Press, 2019. Highly recommend this book and do encourage you to check it out. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share these poems and to celebrate these poets on this channel, and wish you all the best as you check these poets out. You can always learn more about the poet and the book by checking out the description of the video for a brief bio of the poet, as well as a link to, usually I can find the publisher's website and you can purchase the book directly from the publisher. There's also a listing of other projects and series that I'm working on. Feel free to check those out. Like these videos, comment below, subscribe to the channel. All these things help increase visibility for these poems and these poets, and helps us spread the word of poetry to a wider audience. That's really all I really want out of this channel, is an opportunity to share poetry and to encourage more people to encounter poetry, to think about what it has to say to them in this current moment, in their lives, in our lives. What does it mean? And oftentimes people don't know where to find contemporary poetry, so this is kind of an entry point for them. So I wish you all the very best in your own creative journeys, whatever you're up to this day, and hope that you're finding joy in the work that you do, and connection to others. Sometimes we're able to do that through publications, sometimes we're able to do that through spoken word events, and sometimes it is a labor that is done quietly on our own and then shared quietly with others. But all these things are ways in which we are engaged and part of a larger conversation that is poetry, that is literature, that is art. So until our next meeting, which will be in a couple days, I wish you all the very best. Keep reading, keep writing, keep being part of the world in doing your creative work. I'm Neil Aitken. This is the Hermit Poetry Series, and we'll be back in soon with more poetry and more reading. Till then, keep up your part and do your creative work, and I'll do mine, and we'll see each other soon. Thanks, and goodbye.